What's holding you back? What's making you feel like you can't live the life that you feel like you deserve? What's making you feel like you can't do what you really desire to do? Well, today we're going to unearth some of those subconscious blockages, and we're going to encourage you to go for it. Hey everybody, welcome to JasonPowell.faith. It's me, Jason, and you're in a space where we are intentionally raising our consciousness to manifest more heaven on earth. I invite you right now to subscribe to JasonPowell.faith so you never miss the latest content. I truly believe that what goes on in the mind and the heart and the soul, the spirit of the individual, is what lays the framework for what we express and manifest individually and what we collectively draw out of our subconscious, our psyche, and create events and circumstances in the world with. These are the things that are accumulated in our consciousness that we see around us manifested. The good, the bad, the ugly, the great, the big, the small. All of that comes from the seat of the consciousness of humankind, which is that connected realm of spirit and mind that manifests from the unseen realm. You are not here for a mundane existence. You are not here to live in fear, to live in bondage, but your mind and your heart is strong. And whatever you have tried to overcome, or whatever you might have thought you couldn't overcome, the truth of you is that you can do it. And you might as well go for it, because you've got one life to live in this body, and you'll never know who you truly are if you don't try. How can you ever become the truest essence that God has called you to be if you never take a step in the direction? So my question to you today is, in what direction are you going? And if it's not the direction that you really want to go in, then change your direction and go for what you really want. If you know that you want to travel a cruise and you want to be on a cruise, but yet you're always playing in the pool, you're never going to find an ocean liner in the pool. You've got to go towards the ocean, right? If you want to find the cruise ship, you're not going to find the cruise ship in a pool. And so many times I feel like we live life wanting to experience one thing, but we're not in the environment that is going to cause us to experience that which we truly desire. And so I'm here to encourage you and myself today that which is in your heart, you might as well go for it. Nobody's going to make you do it. Nobody's going to make it happen for you. You have a strong mind and a strong spirit. The Word of God declares that we're not given a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and a sound mind. And you've got to take that as a personal word for yourself. You've got to own that and say, I do not have a spirit of fear, but I have a spirit of power and love and a sound mind. Say, I can do this. Say it over yourself. Say, I can do this. I can do this. And then go for it. It might not be a giant leap. Your going for it might not be a giant leap all at once. It might be a step in the right direction. It might be just putting one foot in front of you that takes you in the right direction. Go for it. And so you kind of have to tell yourself that over and over again. In small victories that we have, they might be small to us or might be small to others, but really any victory you have is great because it caused you to go out of your comfort zone and to become more and to become the truth of who you are, right? And so when you exercise your mental and spiritual machinery by going out of your comfort zone and by causing yourself to be a conduit through which good can manifest beyond the limits of what it manifested like in your past, when you do that, it's a victory. And these victories add up when you continue to do that, when you continue to push the bounds of what you have done. Then what happens is there begins to be a new energy that rises up within you. When you understand that you can be and do and have the good which God sent you to the earth to be, to do, and to have. And yes, there's always going to be some kind of naysayer or opposition or anything that tries to prevent you from it. But it's all in the consciousness. And when your consciousness can supersede any obstacle or opposition, then guess what? The victory is yours. So go for it. Even if it's a step at a time, go for it. You don't have a spirit of fear. So that means don't let fear have the final say. Don't let fear hold you back. You might feel it at a moment, but that doesn't mean it has to stop you. And that's where the spirit of power, of love, and a sound mind comes into play. Because you're able to advance. Say it. I'm able to advance. I'm able to become what God has called me to be. Say it over yourself again. I'm able to advance. I'm able to become what God has called me to be. And you see, we have to talk to ourselves like this, because in life we've got different thoughts and responses to all of the things that go on in the world around us that can frequently throw us off course, throw us off our purpose or our intended aim. And so when we can speak to ourselves in this manner, it's the self-talk of a champion. The self-talk of a champion has maybe those negative voices of fear, but refuses for those to be the final voices that direct their steps, that direct their actions. So go for it. Ecclesiastes 11:4 says, whoever observes the wind will not sow, and whoever regards the clouds will not reap. In other words, if you're always waiting for all the external conditions to be perfect, you're not going to take any action. You're not going to do anything. And so what we've got to get to the point of realizing is that after you have meditated about it, after you've prayed about it, after you've allowed that desire or dream to germinate, and you're sure that the Spirit of God is with you and working with you, and you plan and you strategize and you gain knowledge and information, you take successive action. You take a step forward. You cause that desire or that vision or that dream to be actualized, and you just move forward in a spirit that knows no defeat, because the consciousness of spirit supersedes the obstacle. The mind of Christ is in you, and you awaken it by affirming the reality of it. Consistently, continually. Whoever observes the wind will not sow. Whoever regards the clouds will not reap. I like this text in the Amplified Version. It says, he who observes the wind and waits for all conditions to be favorable will not sow, and he who regards the clouds will not reap. You know, there's people who will save their china, their precious glass cups and plates and all these things, and they won't use them ever. And they're waiting for a grand day to use them. But then they get aged and older, and they might die without ever using the china that they were saving for the most perfect day. Well, guess what? You're worthy of the good that you possess. Huh? You're worthy of it. And it's important for us to remember that we're here to express something good, something that is from God, that lives within us. And so therefore, we're on a journey of expressing that beauty. Remember, if you always wait for all the conditions in your life to be 100% favorable before taking action, then you'll miss out in life and you won't do anything you've really desired to do. The one who observes the wind will not sow, and the one who regards the clouds will not reap. So go for it. These words by Henry David Thoreau really sum this up well to me. If one advances confidently in the direction of one's dreams and endeavors to live the life which they have imagined, they will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. So the next time you're grappling with whether you should go for it or not, remember that you have one time in this physical body in which to live life. There is still an adventure and the ride of a lifetime ahead of you. You know, they used to say, wake up and smell the coffee. Yeah, well, now is the time to wake up and realize that you are here for a special purpose. And so today, reposition some aspect of your life and your thinking that causes you to merge more fully with the good that you deserve. Hey, the comfort zone is fine if you're satisfied with what is in your comfort zone. But if there's anything in you that knows that you're meant to do more, you're meant to be more, you're meant to have more, that is the urge of spirit driving you forward to manifest some heaven. What was Jesus' prayer? Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And God uses human instruments to manifest it. God uses human instruments to bring forth that good. And desire is spirit speaking to you, urging you to be a conduit through which that good can materialize. And it requires our cooperation, our learning, our application, our pursuit, our commitment, our faith, our hope, our belief, our patience, and our continued pursuit. And so when we seek God as our highest aim and our highest priority, and we lay our lives and our ambitions and our dreams and our frustrations and our worries and our failures, and we just lay it all before Spirit, before God, and we say, God, take my life and let it be to your glory. Let it be to your honor, and let it serve a purpose that will cause fulfillment, not only for myself, but for others as well. You know, you're a treasure. You're a gift. You really are. And you got to believe it. And you got to speak it back to yourself when you feel like you're not. Because that is the activation of your spiritual power. Sometimes we don't realize that the very activation of our spiritual power becomes enacted in moments where we might think that it's inactive or not happening. But it is. You can't see that flower or that plant growing underneath the ground, but you see it when you begin to see it above the ground. But there are things happening underneath the ground supporting that which you are about to see. So keep going. Don't give up. Don't let your doubts and your fears uproot that which is planted in you. Because as you continue to pursue, as you continue to believe, as you continue to do the good set before you, that which is within your hands to do, there is blessing and privilege and pleasure and hope and goodness that God breathes into it and causes it to come alive. And this is what we do in spiritual practice. We remind ourselves that we are here for a purpose. Your physical life, here and now, and the soul that inhabits your body is here for a purpose. And that purpose is being wonderfully and beautifully and gloriously expressed, even as you say yes and go for it. Your step might not be a leap. It might be an incremental step. But good choices that are in the right direction compound on top of each other and produce favorable outcomes. The opposite is true. Bad choices that are in the direction that you don't want to go compound on top of each other and create unfavorable outcomes. Now, we don't always get it right, but we thank God for grace and for guidance. And so listen to the voice of Spirit as Spirit prods you and urges you to take a step in a certain direction. And then continue to have that positive self-talk that causes you day after day or moment after moment to continue making a choice that leads you in the path of God's wholeness, of God's beauty, of God's goodness, of God's right consciousness. Because that is a metaphysical understanding of the term righteousness. We're led in the path of God's righteousness means that we're led in the path of right consciousness. And when your consciousness is right or rightly aligned with the good that God says is yours, with the good that God says you are, then things work out favorably in successive stages. And so we're in this life to manifest the good. I just want to tell you, go for it. So are you jaded by a former relationship that didn't work out? And do you throw in the towel and just give up on companionship completely? Well, if it's important to you or if there's any hope within you, you keep the dream alive, right? And you take steps that position your heart and your mind in the zone of healing and wellness, and you keep going. And you allow Spirit to wash over you, to cleanse you, and keep going. Our God-given dreams and visions demand our planting and tending in order to live and thrive. The comfort zone is fine if you're satisfied with the contents therein. But if your life or sustenance demands you planting your seed in the midst of unfavorable conditions so that you can have a harvest of wheat or whatever just for mere survival, you'll sow beyond your comfort zone. And perhaps there is that which we are called to do, sowing beyond our comfort zone, which causes us to produce beyond what we are used to. Likewise, our God-given dreams and visions demand our planting and tending in order to live and thrive. If it's worth living for and it's beyond what you've currently experienced, then it's worth pressing beyond your comfort zone to plant it and eventually harvest the new joys of fulfilled desires. You're not here to be unhappy. You're not here to be miserable. You're here to be fulfilled. You're here to manifest the glories and the splendors of the divine. You can do it with God working in you, with a strong mind and spirit that indwells you. You got to begin to speak good about yourself to yourself. Remind yourself of who God says you are. Stand in the mirror and declare these things to yourself, because this is what helps us to be all that God says we can be. If this is a blessing to you, I invite you to subscribe to this channel so that you'll never miss the latest content. Much love. God bless you.